What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode of Life Advice with Hunter. This is the show where I beat Noah's ass in Batman Arkham Knight. No, it's not. It's the show where I read questions from viewers just like you, and I give you guys some advice on whatever is going on in your life. And as always, if you want to submit your own question for these videos, you can do so by going down to the description and finding the Google form link. Or you can join our Discord. There's also a link for that down in the description. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's read a question. So I'm a senior in high school now, and I don't know what I want to do with my life. I've had family and friends ask me what I want to do, and I just don't really know what to tell them. I just feel kind of helpless, and I just kind of feel like I don't really know what the point of life is right now. And I don't really know what I'm good at or what I want to be. I was told my whole life that I need to go to college, get a good degree, raise a family, but I don't know if that's really what I want for me. Let me be clear. I don't want to be a loser that lives at home for the rest of my life. Good on you. But I don't really know where I should be looking to find who I want to be. Should I go to college? Should I just immediately go into work? What do I do to figure out what I'm good at? I guess what I'm asking is how did you figure out what you wanted to be in high school, and when did you know that you found who you wanted to be? So I'm going to give you a little bit of a secret lesson here that the adults in your life aren't going to tell you for some fucking reason, but I will. They don't know what they want to be. All right, they don't. All right, the truth is that nobody really knows who they want to be at any point in your life. All right, if debatably it gets more confusing as you get older. But the truth is that I didn't know who I wanted to be until I was a senior in high school. Well, that's kind of a lie. My whole life I kind of knew that I wanted to do this. Right, I wanted to be a YouTuber. Right, and I'm not. Right, I'm fucking part-timer. But the truth is that I. For a long time in my life, loved creating things. I loved creating movies. I loved telling stories. I loved all that shit. But it was when I was a senior in high school is when I really fell in love with broadcasting. And I guess for anybody that's new around here, I'm currently getting a degree my last year in college, thank God, in broadcast communications / television communications. That's journalism for anybody that isn't aware. But anyways, basically, I fell in love with journalism when I was a high schooler, senior to be specific. Really, I fell in love with politics my junior year of high school. And then from there, I fell in love with broadcasting my senior year. We had a class known as Spartan News, and it was a class where we created the news every day. And I loved it, all right? I'm going to be very transparent with you, all right? Journalism and broadcasting is the only thing that really gives me drive in my life. And I don't know what it is, but something about it, man. When I go to write an article, or I go to step in front of the camera to read a story, or I'm working on a news package, it doesn't matter. I love every single minute of it. I love every aspect of it. I love it all. And I think that the biggest piece of advice that I can give you to figure out what you're good at or who you want to be is to just try different things. You literally just need to you need to step outside of your comfort zone a little bit and try new things. Go to clubs in your school, do whatever the fuck it takes. Hang out with different people, just do some research, figure out something that sounds semi-interesting to you, and just do it. Because the truth is that when I was, 15, if you told me that I would be getting a degree in broadcasting and journalism, I think that I would have called you dumb. I really think I would have, brother. I think that I think that at the time I would have. Well, at the time I wanted to go into therapy, which I know makes sense, right? But the truth is that at the time I had a completely different career trajectory. I wanted to go into music therapy. Obviously, that's not what I ended up doing. But for me, I had a very different mindset and stuff like that back then. But I feel like it kind of happens naturally, right? I ended up taking that class because I was a senior, and it was like, oh, it's an easy A, it'll be kind of fun, whatever. I literally took it for that exact reason. All right. I ended up taking it, and I have not looked back. All right. And that's what I think is going to happen to you. You're going to find that thing that you like, and then it's just going to click for you. And you're like, this is me. This is what I'm going to do. And like, that's what happened to me. And it still happens constantly. All right. I want to be truthful with you. And I think a good thing too, is that assuming if you're watching this channel, you're into gaming, do some research on game design. See if it's for you, man. Or coding or anything like that with computers, nerdy shit. Do a little bit of research, just experiment. Because let me tell you, anything that you can learn in college, you can learn on the internet now for fucking free. So just do a little bit of research, figure out who you want to be, what you want to do, and then go from there. Because I always tell this to people. As somebody that is currently attending college, do not go to college if you don't know what you want to do. Because college right now is fucking stupid expensive. Everything's stupid expensive. But education is stupidly fucking expensive, all right? And because it's stupidly expensive, I tell people to be careful about if they want to go to college. Because look, this is life-altering debt that you're going to take on if you're going to go to college. And if you don't know what you want to do with your degree, or you don't know who you want to be, it is a waste of fucking money if you go to a big university. Now, if you go to community college and pay out of pocket and shit like that, dude, go for it, right? Like, this is what I actually will suggest to you, what I would do if I were in your shoes. You're still a senior, so you got time to get a whole nother semester ahead of you. Go ahead and just experiment, figure out what you like, figure out who you maybe want to be, all that shit, and just experiment. Do some research online, all that great stuff about different careers, because a lot of people don't realize pretty much anything's a career, so just do a little bit of research, figure out maybe what you might like, and base it off of your interests, and then go from there. And then if you still don't know, do a semester in community college, work, but go to community college. Just because it's really fucking cheap to go to community college. It is insanely cheap. And and that's fine. I think that if you don't like college, then guess what? You didn't waste your time at a state school, all right? Worst thing that happens is, oh no, I'm down the drain $1,000. Oh no, you know what I mean? And it's like, look, you can make $1,000, all right? You know what I mean? Okay, just go ahead and try shit, man. I think that is the most important thing that I tell people when they turn 18, and you go through that time period between 18 and 20. Just try different shit, mainly because people are afraid to, and I think that separates people that figure out what they want to be and are successful. People aren't afraid to do different shit. People aren't afraid to do scary shit. People aren't afraid to step outside of their comfort zone, and literally you need to, because I've said it, but there are people in this world that are comfortable. And you need to be uncomfortable as hell if you want to succeed. I really do believe in that. You got to step outside of your comfort zone. You got to be different. You got to stand out. So that's really what I want to tell you to do is do that. Fucking get scary. All right, be the scary one. All right, there's going to be people that you are going to graduate with that have this plan where they're going to go to college. They're going to go to fucking Harvard or Ohio State or wherever the fuck you're from, and they're not going to succeed, and you probably will. Right? Most people that don't know what they're going to do with their life end up doing some cool shit. I knew people like that throughout high school, right? They had no idea who they wanted to be, what they wanted to do, all that shit. And they just did it. They figured out what they wanted to do, and they did it. And, I think that's really cool. But I don't want to scare you with what I'm about to say, but I want to make something clear to you. The 25 rule. This is basically the rule that guys have until the age of 25 to figure their shit out. Figure out who they're going to be, what career they want to do, all right? And I mean this very honestly, all right? After you turn 25, the world is a different place, all right? And I'm 21, all right? So I'm getting up there. When you hit 25, people just expect you to know who you are. They expect you to have a degree. They expect you to have a job. They expect you to be somewhat successful. They expect you to have a house, all right? And the truth is that if you don't meet that goal, you might be kind of fucked, because people aren't going to be as willing to help you, all right? They're going to view you as lazy. They're going to view you as lame, whatever. And I only say this because I want to see you succeed. And I've seen some friends fall down that trap, okay? So I just want to warn you about that. Now, the only reason I'm telling you this now is because you're either 17 or 18. You have plenty of time to figure shit out. You do. I just don't want to see you fall down the trap. And I really liked what you said in here about how you don't want to live with your parents for the rest of your life. Good on you. Because there are some people that generally don't know what they want to do, and they're just lazy. You're not lazy. You just haven't found you yet. And that's fine. All right? That's fine to not it's fine to not know who you want to be at 18. It really is. We have normalized this hustle culture where it's like, no, by 19 you need to be a millionaire, you need to have 5 cars. Brother, fuck that shit, all right? My net worth is so fucking little at 21, brother. And it's a weird time, all right? And this is the great part. If you go to college or not, people aren't expecting you to be successful at 19. They're not, all right? And when I mean them, I don't mean your friends. I mean your parents, all right? Your friends might have this idea because of social media that you need to be this millionaire at 19. You don't. You don't. Nobody expects that from you except for your friends, all right? And the fucking girls that you need to ignore and not date. But the truth is that I say that because there are a lot of people in this world that are obsessed with this grind culture, and that's fine if you are. But just fucking fuck that grind culture. I hate that shit, man. I've talked about, well, like, I don't hate it, but I hate the stigma around it. Like, when you're between the ages of 18 and 22, your parents don't expect much from you. You know, they expect you to have a job if you're not going to college. They expect you to be studying. They expect you to be figuring out who you want to be. But they're not expecting you to be like this mastermind that is going to be paying the bills. You know what I mean? Like, you get a little bit of a grace period. So just figure that shit out, man. And I really do mean that. Figure it out. And I believe in you. I really do. Because, you know, you're not a lazy guy. Like I said, you're clearly not. You don't want to just live at home for the rest of your life. You want to make yourself of something. So just find it. And I know that is really scary and very oxymoron to just be like, find it, brother. But literally just experiment. Try different things. Don't just be complacent and do the same shit. If you have a shitty job right now in service, you know, in fast food or whatever, don't quit that job. But just look beyond that, all right? Figure out what you like in your life. Like, literally look at your interests and figure it out from there. I think that is the best piece of advice that I can tell people when they are trying to figure out who they want to be, is that they just need to look at what they like and then go from there. That's what I did. You know, at the time in high school, I was into politics. At the time, I was into video games, all this shit. Then I found a way to combine it all, right? And just do that, all right? And then don't be afraid to chase your dreams a little bit. I'm not saying chase them into your 30s and be a failure. That's not what I'm saying. But don't be afraid to experiment, especially at 18. You have so much opportunity in front of you, and it's going to be a great time. And it's a scary time. It is a really scary time when you were 18 years old. Like, when you graduate high school and you're 18 and you're kind of on your own and figuring shit out, whether if it's in college or whatever the fuck, it is a scary thought. So scary. But the older that you get and the more you do it, the easier it gets. So, you know, I just really want to recommend that to you. All right, man. So it's going to be a scary time and it's going to be hard to figure out who you want to be, but you got a lot of time to figure shit out. So don't feel bad for not knowing who you want to be. You're not a failure. You're not a loser. You're none of that shit. There's going to be a lot of kids in your life that either don't know what they want to be yet, or they're never going to figure it out. And I don't want you to be that person. So just start experimenting today. Figure out what you like and go from there. But anyways, guys, as always, there's a link to submit your own questions for these videos down in the description via the Google form link. There's also a link to join our Discord down in the description if you are interested. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace, and Noah, you're never going to pass my scores.